Welcome. I appreciate you tuning in. The title of this video post accurately applies to my life, past and present. I'm going to shortly share with you a brief overview of my personal journey from prison to progress. But first I want to state my motive for launching this particular platform. I have a strong passion and interest in helping youth, especially at-risk youth, from venturing down the path that I've ventured down in the past. With that said, I want to begin giving you a brief overview of my personal journey from prison to progress. I guess I can say around the age of 12, in defiance of my parents' orders not to get involved with the wrong crowd, I began running around with a group of juvenile delinquents who had very little regard for rules, structure, and the law. I was intrigued by these group of guys, group of juveniles, their fashion sense and ability to make quick money intrigued me. I wanted to be a part of that circle, and I did become a part of that circle, to my detriment to the extent I would later learn. However, I guess it was around the age of 14 I had my first experience with incarceration. The juvenile court sentenced me to a juvenile lockup facility, and it was at that point that marked the beginning of my traveling through the revolving doors of the juvenile justice system. I'd say around the age of 15 I was introduced to heroin, and that marked for me the beginning of uses of heroin intravenously for nearly 30 years. I went on to transition from the juvenile criminal justice system to the adult criminal justice system and prisons. This is pretty much the pattern of my life for practically all of my juvenile life and a great deal of my adult life. This was my pattern. I was under the belief, if you will, that at some point I would become a successful hustler, crook, if you will, despite the fact that I had developed an extensive criminal record, and that compounded with substance abuse. Both were clear evidence of the fact that I was not a successful hustler or criminal, if you will. Nonetheless, I continued on in that mode. It wasn't until a correctional officer posed a particular question to me that pretty much planted a seed in my mind that over time would germinate and move me to begin to question the lifestyle I was leading. I began to gradually recognize the craziness, if you will, in the lifestyle I led, and as a result, I gradually began to view my lifestyle in a very critical way. I began to see the nonsense in it, the uselessness in the path that I was taking, and I began to gradually develop an interest to seek a different path in life. And also, what sparked me to transition into this particular mission, if you will, that I've elected to embark upon, which is to extend positive encouragement to youth, hopefully to prevent them from leading the lifestyle that I led, was I had begun asking myself the question as to why I survived my 3 heroin overdoses and why I emerged from some very violent prisons alive, unscathed, or anything numerous times. And I would always wonder why was I spared? Why me? And eventually I began to take on the belief that I was spared for a purpose. And I believe that purpose is to pursue the mission that I'm currently on. I wholeheartedly believe it. And I'm passionate about it. So that's a brief overview of my journey from prison to progress. Of course, I go into great detail at length in my memoirs entitled Misguided by Tyrone Miller, which is who I am. The book could be found on Amazon.com. Copies can be obtained on Amazon.com. And I go into great detail at length about my entire journey. So at any rate, I don't want to be amongst that type of individual who will raise awareness and bring attention to an issue just with verbal commentation, and don't really do anything, take any action beyond that. I want to actually put forth an effort to try and to contribute to efforts being made, rather, to try to address the mass incarceration problem in the United States, particularly with my focus on preventing juvenile incarceration, deter youth from getting involved in the criminal lifestyle, etc. That is my focus. I want to do more than just make video posts speaking about it. Yeah, I want to also use my gifts and talents to actually extend something tangible to address the problem. And and as a result, I've written a 40-page booklet entitled Making Choices, which is primarily designed to encourage youth to practice right decision making and critical thinking, especially when they are confronted with negative peer pressure. Because I've learned through my own personal experiences and through observation of others that failure to respond productively to peer pressure is generally at the root of a lot of people, juveniles who go on to become adult offenders. The root cause of that is their failure to respond productively to peer pressure. A lot of people venture down the wrong road as a result of peer pressure or their failure to productively respond to it. And so I've taken it upon myself to write this 40-page booklet entitled Making Choices, which is designed to, as I said, encourage youth, especially at-risk youth, to practice good decision making and critical thinking. I want to share some information with you guys before I close, as the fact that it's according to a study, on any given day there's approximately, or an estimated, 60,000 juveniles incarcerated on any given day. And it's also a study that states that 52 to 57% of juvenile delinquents continue to offend up to age 25. Yeah, and the kicker is that, and that being the case, juveniles go on to make up a percentage of the statistics of the over 200 million adults that are incarcerated in the United States annually. To me, that represents a crisis. And oftentimes, it's the elephant in the room, meaning that it's not often talked about. It's something that's often avoided. And there's also a study, by the way, that states that every second American has a family member that has been or is incarcerated. Now, that's alarming. That is quite alarming, meaning that we all know of someone who is either currently in the criminal justice lockup system or has experienced it. And it doesn't seem like those numbers are going to be reducing anytime soon. So I just believe that I was spared when so many of others who were leading that path with me wasn't as fortunate as I. They perished, they died in the midst of all that mess, and I was spared. So I take on the belief that this particular mission that I'm on is what I was spared for, and this is what I'm pursuing. So I just wanted to come on and share with you guys this bit of information that I've shared, and to let you all know that there will be forthcoming videos, and you can look forward to hearing from me in the future. And I would hope that you all will continue tuning in, and even some of you may want to be supportive of this mission, this effort, by any means you see fit, even if it's no more than just clicking the thumbs up on the video, clicking the thumbs up and sharing this video amongst your network. So with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace. I'm out.